The Yeti Radio, powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. David Lee Imaging in the Titletown Music Archive and the Live 365 app. Welcome to the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
Don't fuck it up.
It's the Yeti Radio, and we are live in studio in the Backstage Lounge with Soul Theorem. And we're going to get started with their first song from 2023. Here they are with How We Feed on the YetiRadio.com. Soul Theorem in the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you.
What's up?
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Absolutely.
And coming and hanging out. I know you guys do the traffic hour and a half drive. That's I know what that feels like for sure.
It was all worth it. Don't worry.
Good bargain.
We definitely plan on having a good time. We've got Mr. Kenny Lawful. We've got Mr. Dalton Williams, Ty Gabardi, Sam Smart, and Mr. Joey Aston. And this is Soul Theorem. So
What up?
How long has Soul Theorem been Soul Theorem?
Yeah, about
it has
two
been.
official years.
Okay.
Yeah, public for a little over a year, but we've been working together for about 2.
Okay. And everybody's original?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, actually, Joey came in 4 months after the project actually officially got started, and we were like, we might need a rhythm guitarist, and he thought it was going to be like an interview. We're like, just show us what you got, and we just were like, yeah, you're in it. Like, let's have fun.
Sweet. Awesome. So just a quick add-on at the beginning.
Yep.
That's cool. Still considered to be original.
Founding
Yes,
member.
absolutely.
So what does Soul Theorem mean?
Realistically, it's just what it boils down to sounding like is the theory of the soul. A lot of our music kind of encapsulates the idea of soul searching, right? Trying to figure out who you are and what you stand for, basically. So the name kind of fit. After we had written a couple of songs, got some lyrics that came to mind, and we stuck with it. The meaning has been added to over time, but yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
Awesome. And so how many live shows have you guys had so far?
So we've had 6 shows we've done, but like 5 venue shows. The last show we did was for your school's graduation, and it was a house show, and that was so much fun. And
It was a blast.
And yeah, so 6 official shows for just this year.
Okay. Awesome. And is everybody local?
Not local here, but like over
yeah.
there.
Right,
Yeah.
Arizona local.
Yes.
Okay.
Arizona local, yeah.
So who actually met and decided to do this?
This story is kind of
It's a long one.
yep.
Do you want to sum it up super fast?
Sure. So I had actually met him previously. I worked at a fantastic store called Shirts and Things.
Shout out.
And it was like an alt store for like punk rock, goth people and whatnot. And I worked there. He came in one day, told me that I looked like his friend, wanted me to introduce to him, and we got talking a little bit, lost connection for a little, and then years later, about a year and a half later, I ran into him at my other job at a Target.
And he comes after me, and I'm like, oh, hi, and started talking, and then he was like, his previous whatever fell out, and he's like, I want to start a project, and I'm like, well, I know somebody who is really good at guitar, and I know he knows somebody that's really good at drumming, and because I did production a lot, and I'm like, if you guys want to go meet up, I'll do photography for your first band practice and whatnot. And they were all like, hell yeah, let's do this. And so they all go over to his house. They all meet. This was before Joey, unfortunately. And they were all playing. They were all having a great time. I was taking photos. And then we all sat back in the living room. And then he's like, man, we need a bass player. And I'm like, well, I mean, I've played drums. I know tempo. I'm like, I'm willing to learn. I'll be your bass player. And they're like, sure. So we took a photo shoot as a band that night. They threw a bass in my hand and said, this is how you kind of do it. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, let's go do a photo shoot. Did a photo shoot that night. And then you could say how you met Joey.
Yeah, and I meet a lot of people through work. I met Joey previously at a video game testing job that I had. We both had. And again, lost connection, but then started talking a little bit throughout. He hit me up. Actually, I'll let you take that.
So what had happened there is I had reached out to Ty with just the intent, because I knew that back when we were game testing together that he was in a band, and I was reaching out. I was like, hey, I'm trying to get more involved in going to shows, hit up the local music scene. Do you have any shows coming up? I'd like to go see you guys perform. And he goes, actually, that band fell apart, but I'm actually in a new band. So, yeah, I'll let you know when we start getting stuff together. And that was going to be that for me. But then he hits me up. I don't even remember when exactly, but it was a little while after. It was a few weeks where he was just like, hey, we're actually looking for another guitarist. Do you still play? And my answer at the time was like, I got like 3 chords in a dream, buddy. But
More than I did, for sure.
we showed up. I said, yeah, I'll go hang out. If nothing else, I get to meet the band, and we're gonna be friends, hopefully. And then that practice, I show up, and I'm just like, what if I don't know enough? And I had actually, like, Ty had told me that Sam was really into Avenged Sevenfold at the time. So I was like, okay, what are some of their easier songs to learn? So I learned.
Do they have any easy ones?
Not particularly, but some of the riffs.
I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't think of one.
I took up the rhythm part to Hail to the King, because that's about as easy as it gets. And
well, Ty, you do have the look, so I'm surprised. I'm not surprised people approach you and
see, and he thinks he's unapproachable, but then you and I both approached him, and here we are. So,
well,
no,
yes,
to be
you're
fair,
6.
he's less intimidating than he looks.
Yeah, I'm 6'7". So.
Okay, so yeah, and again, when we happen to be at a venue, thank you for making me not the tallest person in the room anymore.
No problem.
That part always sucks. So, had any pretty awesome highlights that have happened in the shows? Anything?
oh goodness.
Remember when you threw a shirt at the sound guy?
Oh my god. Yeah. So you need to say that. Or here, you want to go?
Okay, yeah. So we decided when we got some merch that it would be a good idea to give some out. So during the show, I was throwing some shirts out. It got to a point where what song was it? Was it Butcher's? It was.
Yeah, it was Butcher's Persona.
The breakdown hits, and I had a full wound up arm cannon just launched out into the crowd, and it was full body. So my eyesight goes down. I can't see where it really goes, but apparently it smacked the sound guy directly in the face. Ended up in the hands of a little girl who's a huge fan, so it ended up worth it.
Okay.
But he took one for the team. But yeah,
The best part is we recorded it, and I played it back to him. I'm like, dude, you launched that thing. Like, look at how fast you threw it. So yeah, that was definitely a highlight for sure.
Ty, note to the band: Ty throws no more T-shirts.
Yep, and we stopped doing that after that.
A quick toss, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could say first show, your little nerves. We had to talk with you.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. So basically, we were all outside before the first show, the 44, and man, I was puking. I was nervous as hell.
Was that the OTEP show?
I was at Damage
Oh.
Inc. Yeah.
Okay.
Those guys
The
were
other
cool,
one.
by the way. I love that.
Yeah.
Metallica. Fuck on, dude.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, man. Then the TJ came up, and I don't know. After that, I don't know why all of us together, just really settled the nerves, and we went out there and kicked some butt, man.
hell yeah.
Well, it's a
fun.
team effort. When your team gets around you, you tend to
It was like
settle a little bit, at least.
100%.
Especially our first pre-huddle for like our pre-show huddle, our first one, because we have a saying in our band that we're gonna make it. So after every practice, after every show, or before every show, we always say we're gonna make this, and we've been making it, and we're gonna continue to make it. So
Absolutely. Well, let's start with let's go with some of your musical influences.
All right. Oh, I'll take
Yeah,
this.
we'll go down the line.
All right.
Make it easy.
So, I'd have to say, like, the common ones like Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, all that, big four. Then the biggest one's got to be Pantera, and as Joey admitted, said Avenged Sevenfold. I'm a little addicted to that band. I love them. A little obsessed. Lately, I've been getting into some heavier stuff because that's the magical part about our band too, is that all of us have very different, diverse backgrounds in music. So,
Okay.
yeah, when it all kind of cohesively comes together and we write, we come up with some cool stuff.
So what's your background?
Background? Well, I've been playing guitar for about 5 or 6 years. I did play trumpet for a while back in elementary school, and obviously I picked up a different instrument after that. It didn't last very long, but hi, Kitty. But
don't mind Babu. He's like, I'm just going to interrupt the interview.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to see a hairless cat.
I want one so bad.
Yeah, my family's
wife
always
and I both want one so bad.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my family's always just been pretty musically inclined, so it was kind of natural that it just came to me. Always being around music. So.
Awesome.
Next.
My influences are like I love Motionless in White, Wage War, I Prevail. I kind of got into heavy music about like 4 or 5 years ago, and I just loved the industry, and I loved with the bands, and that's why I got into concert photography. I never thought I'd be in a band, but like I just loved being around the local scene and just how much fun everyone was having. So getting to be in that now and getting to do the photography stuff as well, it's really fun. So background, again, I just did a lot of production stuff. I worked a bunch of production jobs, and I loved going to concerts, and I used to play drums, and I was always scared of playing a string instrument, but I'm glad that these guys, especially the other guitarists in the band, have really took their time to actually make sure I know what I'm doing and be hard about it, be like, know why you need to do this, and that's what's making me a lot more confident with playing bass. So
okay, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more complicated.
As always.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that comes with the look.
I deserve
too.
that one.
We all have.
Yeah. So I never really stick to one thing, and I kind of pull inspiration from this ever-changing cycle of music that I've listened to. I would say that that vocally, at least, my main inspiration came from what I started singing when I was like 4 years old or so. I started singing Phantom of the Opera because my grandma would play that movie constantly, and that's kind of how I realized that I enjoy singing. So went through that phase a little bit with opera, and then dive into the more pop music that gets popular, a little bit of rap, and then around 15 I hit the rock and metal phase, and then I went into the deep end. It was very intense.
As he pets a cat like villain arc right now. I went off the deep end.
Well, as long as you keep doing that, he ain't going nowhere.
It was yeah, it was quite literally life altering. The first band I heard was Sleeping with Sirens, and that was the first like band with screaming and like super distorted guitars. But I guess I'm rambling. I do that a lot. The main inspirations, at least recently, I would say over the last little bit of my life, have been bands like Motionless, bands like Sleep Token as of recent have been really helping me with even some vocal influence, assistance. But yeah, it's an ever-changing cycle with me. I'm not going to ever stay the same with it.
Right. And you should,
why we love
because it's music. It evolves. You evolve. The older you get, maturity levels change and ideas change, but it's always really, really awesome to see the change.
Yeah.
Yep. That progression is kind of what makes it fun, I will say mine, it's definitely kind of flopped around a little bit, but I started playing drums when I was 4, and I started like mainly improvising. Like I would play at like little house parties and stuff like that my dad would take me to, and he played drums, and then he would let me on the kit. I'd play like a simple 4/4 beat or something like that, or like "We Will Rock You," like that type of thing. And then I just kind of played at those like little house parties, whatever, for like 4 or 5 years after that. Like every couple of months, and it was kind of cool. I would do a lot of blues stuff and like jazz stuff and whatnot, and that was kind of like what I was working on. And then I didn't really take it seriously until I was about 13, and that's when I started getting into metal and like Avenged Sevenfold, Pantera, stuff like that, and started like practicing, looking up sheet music, actually working on myself and working on my chops. And yeah, that's kind of where the huge metal influences started, And from there, I was just, practicing a lot. I met Sam, and then, we met, and then that's how the project kind of came, to my life, if you will.
Evolution.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as my influence goes, bands like Dayseeker, A Day to Remember, Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil, just that, I guess, post-hardcore is what I looked up and found it to be. Is that's kind of the direction that I like to listen to and play recently. But I'm still a 2000s pop punk kid. I'll listen to stuff like the Green Day, Panic at the Disco, All Time Low, and it's like I'll start incorporating stuff like they used to do with their octaves and all that. Older Paramore. Yeah. And I just... What do you mean that one?
Uh-oh, something's got a story.
I do love Paramore, and I'll leave it at that.
His Paramore is your sleep token. Come on. Yeah, sure. And his Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I've been playing guitar on and off for the last 10 years, much more seriously the past 2, and it's been a hell of a ride.
Yes, it definitely seems fun so far. So don't let that stop. So what's the songwriting process?
It varies. Usually we'll get together and we'll kind of jam something out. Even just playing freestyling all our instruments together and seeing if something sticks. And that's how we've come up with a few of our ideas. It's sparked something, and then we build on that until we feel satisfied with what we've turned it into. And there have been a couple of us who have brought ideas to the table that everyone else has built on. It really depends on the song, right? Like if there's a specific message that I would like to hit and carry vocally, right, I'll write the lyrics and some of the rhythm out, and I'll bring it and I'll be like, hey, let's build on this. And same with Sam, is riff machine over here. Mm-hmm. He'll constantly be coming to the table with new riffs and ideas that we'll work on, and it really just varies on what we're feeling that day and what comes out of it. I love this cat so much.
And real quickly on the songwriting, like Butcher's Persona, which has not out yet, but we played it live. That song was written out of rage of songwriting blockage. And
okay.
And if you've seen our set live, you've heard it. But the beginning of the song has that bass riff, and I remember we were just all frustrated. We're like, we don't know where we're going. I'm like, just play after this, and I dun 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 dun, and then we just you just played drums, and we just broke into it, and then he just started just doing some fast lyrics, and we kind of just like kept playing, and then the song just developed, and we stopped and we're like, what happened? So when we're not thinking, it works really well for us, and then when we're still working planning, and that starts with myself, but it's rough right now, but we're getting better. We're getting better at it. So
awesome.
A real emotion definitely helps the songwriting process.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay, so where do you get your inspiration for your lyrics?
So I mean, without getting too sappy, I've experienced quite a bit, and I write about either the way I see the world, or a lot of my lyrics tie into rebellion or revolution or uplifting in nature is really what I'm trying to do. I take the things that I've dealt with emotionally, and I kind of do my best to lay them out on the table as open as I can, so that people can resonate with it and really feel that connection, because realistically that is what my goal is with my lyrics, is to really lock into the people who have gone through the same things I have, or who feel the same way about how I feel about things and need someone else to know that they kind of feel that same way. So that's the purpose I try to at least achieve with my lyrics.
Awesome. Now, I know you're a young band, but do you happen to have any pre-show rituals?
I mean, yeah, kind of the we're gonna make it. We all just kind of just stand around, just say we're gonna make this, calm down. It's more of after show is our ritual.
Yeah.
We have a very specific IHOP we go to, and if we go to a different IHOP, it's always bad. Something's wrong. But then we're like, we need to go back to our IHOP, and it's amazing. So we all just sit there and we just were like reflect.
Awesome. That's really cool. Great food, by the way.
Shout out.
We almost ended up with a show there too, because we went there so much. One of the managers asked us if we were in a band, and the conversation happened where it got pushed all the way up the chain before the higher up said no. But it was going to happen.
Managers
wow.
No, and I'm like, oh, he's like really running this up the chain right now.
Had,
oh my God.
We had the horror store down literally in the same plaza that I also go to constantly, ready to support it as well and like brand it and market it out. We were going to blow that IHOP up. I don't know why they said no.
Yep.
Like they were going to get some business.
So if you're that IHOP,
corporate marketing geniuses that think they know more than everybody else,
right? Come on, Denny's Grand Slam did it.
Yeah, IHOP, if you're watching this, please allow us to play at one of your fine established restaurants. We love your food and we want to play for your family.
Well, I know from living and working in Vegas, I know companies go to Vegas and have their conventions for their big, bright, shining star employees. Like McDonald's goes and blows money you wouldn't believe. They don't eat McDonald's while they're there.
That's fair.
Except for one meal. There's always one meal that is, but it's just weird.
Sponsored.
But yeah, if they have a convention where corporate brings all the stars of the show and bring you guys in to play for their convention.
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. DM me.
I'm telling you, the conventions can go in any direction. So, okay, you've got the two that we're playing tonight. The one you've mentioned. How many more songs do you think you got ready? What are we looking at?
We have quite a few. For our set list, we usually run with 8. And all of our music at this point, we can do an 8-song set original. And then we've got a good bit in the works.
Okay.
There's
a lot.
There's some concepts that we're working on. There's some songs that have more structure. We're in the double digits at this point with what we're working on. And now the idea is really just to lock in on getting them finished, complete, and then getting them recorded so that everyone can hear them.
Okay. So what's your favorite song out of the double-digit songs you like to play the most?
Oh boy. That's a good question. I got like 2 that always steal that top 1 spot for me, but I would have to pick a Listen.
Okay.
We got the song Listen, man. It's a great song.
See, my favorite has to be Butcher's Persona. The energy and biased with my bass riff. It's so fun. So I think Butcher's Persona, which will be coming out whenever soon.
Take this one for now. It's not out yet, but Godfall hits the closest to home. It just has a great feel. I play a little piano in it. It's fun.
Yeah, I would say Godfall is my favorite to like listen and to play. And then Butcher's Persona is a close second for playing wise anyway.
For me, I'd have to say Black Gold is my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's it's just a lot of fun to play.
That's my new favorite now.
That's your new favorite.
He's already changed his answer, right? So let's run it again.
Wait a second.
Is there one that you not necessarily hate to play, but one you're kind of, hey, let's hurry up and get this one done?
If I had to say that, honestly, Godfall. Like, which is funny because that's the one that I was the most influential in writing. I was just kind of playing another song.
Damn it!
at
I
that
shot
point.
myself in the foot.
It was Incubus. It was Incubus. I was playing one of their songs. It was Just a Phase was actually the song I was playing. And then these guys all just hopped on top of it, and I was like, oh, this is sounding like a different song now. I guess I should change the riff. And then we went through and we kept playing it. But I'll pass on now.
As far as like songs that we don't like to play,
or is a little difficult as far as the song, or just one you just would rather, if you could take one off, what would it be?
If I could take
one off the set list. Not that it's a bad song. It's just, whether it's technical or whether it's,
I don't know. All of our songs are like pretty enjoyable to play for me anyway. Like I always have fun. I'm just happy to be there.
Okay.
To be honest.
I'm just happy to be there.
I'm just happy to be there.
I'm happy to have the job.
Yep.
And that's great answer. That's.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing that we don't hate our own music, right?
Yeah.
Well, and again, it's not necessarily hate. Whether it's a song that's a little more difficult than the rest of them, or in any aspect, it's just open for interpretation.
I mean, I will say Godfall, when we first played it, there was a lot of technical issues with the piano and the bass.
That's true.
There's a certain part where the bass needs to line up with the piano. And yeah, actually, every time we play Godfall, something goes wrong. Which
Live, that is.
Yeah, which we think
can nail it.
which we think is just meaning that it's such a beautiful song that we're just working on filling it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so I would say the most cursed song in our band is Godfall. So, and that's a fair assessment, but I love it. I really do.
It's a good song.
Yes. It's not like a bad song.
If I can pat my own back.
It is. It's like I said, it's my favorite. Yeah, I don't hate any of our music. Listen is stressful.
You're gonna hear it today.
Because when we're live, usually its placement in our set list calls for it to be somewhere further in the back, and it has a lot of vocal changes. There's a lot of different things that I'm doing in there, whether it be clean singing, really high falsettos, or screaming, and I have to try and be extra cautious. So it's a little stressful, but I still love performing the song. I love performing all of our music. It's so fun. I'm just happy to be on stage.
How many octaves can you sing in?
I believe 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm working on some of my head voice range, and it'll fully flush it out. But yeah, 5. I can hit notes in all octaves.
Cool.
That's one of them. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Like half with Dalton on this one. Like, I love to play all of our songs. I'm just happy to be there on stage. But Black Gold is a tough song. The alternate picking on that song is tricky, man. It's like string skipping all over the place. So I don't know. I love the song. It's just kind of a pain to play.
Okay.
Being honest.
Let's see.
That's fair.
I take it your first performance was your favorite?
No.
Okay.
It was good. I'm personal the OTEP show, that how many people we had there, and low key for me the little things are the best things, that we had an actual guardrail because my fiance does the photography when we're playing, so I got to see her come up front and I got to play for her, and she wasn't like having to go through people. So that was my personal favorite.
I'm waiting for a venue to do that.
Shut up, babe.
And then give me a rolling office chair, because I'm 6'5", and I'm always in the way. I just roll.
I'm so
in front.
self-conscious about that. It shows.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I know you paid. I can't. If I can shrink myself.
And granted, I don't have a professional camera. I have a phone camera. I don't do too bad. The other guy, professionals are professionals and do a great job. But I like to have fun with it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree though about the OTEB show. That was just a great show. That the audience, everything down to the sound. It was nice.
I'm still curious as to how many people came from L.A. from the night before for that show.
True.
Because that was insane. Because it was that was a Wednesday, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of
Yeah.
people.
And there was a lot of people in L.A. the night before.
Yeah.
For that show, and I was just like, wow, and it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
250, like 300 people in that room, which to a new band, second performance, very overwhelmed. For me, I was like, oh boy, let's knock this out, and it was really fun.
It was really, really good.
Yeah,
And a lot of people took notice. So everybody's like, who the hell's that band? I'm like, I don't know, I think I've never heard of them before. And I'm the one that does this. And everybody looks to me. Look, unless I see them at a show or they hit me up, I don't know. You know, it's interesting. Let's see. So hitting the guy in the face with the T-shirt was the craziest thing that happened on
Oh,
stage.
I got another show story.
Uh-oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to not make it a pattern, but you know, within our first few shows, I've already scarred myself. During the Butcher's Persona break, I have a problem during this breakdown apparently because different show. But same song, another incident, where I decided it would be a good idea to just kind of let the anger the song brings out just show, and I punched the stage like 7 times, like pretty. You good? Pretty hard, and it tore up my pinky, and now I have a permanent scar on my pinky. It's a reminder of my lack of inhibition on stage.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got a broken wheel that likes to.
I thought you were going down.
Oh yeah, I thought I was too. But let's see. I don't know what this is doing. That's acting funny. But all right. Anyway, let's see. What's your favorite place to play locally so far?
Well, I mean, we've only played. Well, we played at 2 venues. So
Okay.
we've played at the 44 and we played at the Blues.
Okay.
So I love both of them it differently. Like I love each one because each one has a special thing about them.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I just love them both. I can't pick between them.
Okay. Well, and I forgot it probably only not been very many, so
Yeah.
my bad on the question.
No, it's all good.
Objectively, the 44 because it's got more memories.
That's fair. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's got the bigger names.
But
and-
real quickly, I don't know. I want you to hop in on me with this. But at the Blues, I forget what song it was, but we were having a great time. The audio was amazing. We had our family come out, and then I turn around and there is a China cymbal on my amp that fell during the middle of the set.
Yeah, I believe that was during Butcher's as well.
Of course, it's just Butcher's Persona.
Oh, let's not forget Ty's mic cut out in the middle of Godfall. Same show.
The cursed one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, like when I had Apex Nemesis in here, both those mics decided they didn't want to work with the amp, so
Oh no.
Oh,
Fun.
new cables and just wired straight to the board now.
Nice.
well, let's hope.
Just turn the gain all the way up. So if it starts smoking, just throw it across the room. It's
Sweet,
a
got
50-foot
it.
cable.
Copy that.
But no.
I'll have him throw it.
Yeah, he's got a great aim. But no, yeah,
I'll hide behind my mic then.
now just turning around and then helping you with that China cymbal, that was made the Blues memory so much fun to remember.
During that breakdown, it might have been during Listen. That's like where I used the China cymbal
I
pretty
think
heavily.
you're right because I think we saved Butchers for the last part of our set.
Yeah, and I remember, I knew it was gonna happen at some point because that cymbal stand was kind of screwed up.
It was during Black Gold.
You know, I think we're
Okay.
all remembering this
Yeah.
thing differently.
Were we all there?
Remembering it.
swear it was Black Gold.
Yeah, it was definitely during Black Gold.
It
Now
was
I
like
remember.
at the it was verse 3.
It was during one of the verses, yeah. And I just remember watching it like go further and further away from me, and I had to like reach to hit it at some point, and I was like, "This thing's going down," and then it went down, and Well, no more
But
China cymbals.
I have
So-
seen that on more than one occasion, so it's not isolated to you.
Oh yeah.
But I will say, like, especially being such a new band, with how much stuff has gone wrong during our sets, we keep playing. We keep chugging, and we laugh it off at the end. We're like, this is fun. Let's get through it. You know what I mean?
Well, and in all honesty, how you get through it might even bring more fans.
Right.
Because you didn't lose it and you just kept going. You know, do you have to make some adjustments? Yes.
Yeah.
But as long as you get to the end, you know,
And have a good
don't
time
be the
doing it.
guy that says, "Oh, screw this," and then walks out in the middle of a set. You know,
Joey can tell you about what happened with his pedal board.
I got some bad intermittent issues with a reverb pedal that I was using, and I didn't know what was going on at the time. But I come into the set, and I unmute my board, and all we hear is just massive sound, and not the good kind. So I had to quickly figure out what was going on with my pedal board, repatch it all, make sure it all worked, and then I eventually got it working once these guys started the show, because I was just like, you can play without me, I'll get this settled. And then we ended up playing through the set, ended up sounding good. I basically had to redo my whole pedal board to get a decent sound during the song. But we got there, and
that's the important part.
yeah, it ended up working. And arguably, according to some people that were there for every show that we played, they said that was our best performance. So
Wow. Which is
Okay.
ironic, because after that, the very first song, right?
yeah, as my pedal board is going
the,
to
the first
bad.
song, I broke a string on the guitar, and then I had to transcribe what I was doing on a guitar that was half step down on a, thing. So it was just, dude, it wasn't hitting that right note, man. The open note was killing me.
Do you have a second guitar now?
Absolutely.
No backups for your backups here, man.
Well, and for those of us out in front of you, most of us realize that recordings or CDs or whether it's digital, it's from the studio, which is the perfect environment. And we get that when we listen to that. And when we're listening to that, that's fine, because we're enjoying the music. The show is the show. And we know you're going to make mistakes. It's live.
It's how we recover from them.
It's how you maintain it and how you keep driving on with it. It just makes it amazing.
Absolutely.
Did you see that dude almost fell on his ass, but he didn't. He saved it and still finished the song. People remember shit like that.
I remember seeing somebody fall actually on their ass, and they still finished the song on their ass.
We were at the Blues, and there was a band from L.A., and Jeff Young from Megadeth was filling in because their guitarist had to go down to Brazil, back home, for a family emergency. But Jeff was up there doing his thing, and he almost fell. Well, he fell off the stage. Ken Howie from Empire of Desire caught him and put him back up on the stage.
There you go.
So, stuff like that. It happens, and it's crazy.
I have been told by a couple people that the way I move on stage gives them genuine anxiety. Because
Please elaborate that.
Yeah, there are here.
fans.
Yeah. For those who don't know, there are characters being played on stage, and I play a character that is insane, sporadic, and all over the place. So when I tap into that, I can kind of lose where I am on stage at times, and I stumble a lot because I'm moving very sporadically or like standing on the edge of the stage. And you said that someone fell off, and to be completely honest, I'm just waiting for that to happen to me. Like at this point, it's bound to happen.
I'll try and save you.
What? I said method acting is a hell of a drama.
It'll be entertaining though. Just get it on camera.
Right.
If it happens, just get it on camera.
Yeah, life's funny moments. Send it in and maybe you win. America's Funniest Home Videos. I don't even know if
Oh
that
my
show's
word.
on anymore.
You just unlocked memories in my head.
Oh damn!
He's just disassociated now. Whoa.
Where else are your memories?
Dude, I should. You know what? I'll send that video of you throwing that shirt in the sound guy's point of view.
So, if you could play any venue in the entire world,
We've actually had this conversation, so we'll start with that.
In the entire world?
Yeah.
I mean, let's go like Crystal Ballroom.
Okay.
where's that at?
It's in Arizona.
Oh,
Sponsored. Sorry, I want
The
to
Crystal
make sure
Ballroom.
everyone's getting recognized.
You mean Crescent?
Yeah, Crystal Ballroom.
Crystal
No,
Ballroom.
Crescent Ballroom.
Crescent Ballroom. Okay, you had me confused
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah, yeah, we love the Crystal Ballroom. I would say my dream place to play is the Red Rock in Nevada, right?
No,
That's Colorado.
It's Colorado. Okay,
Yeah,
that.
that's where I want to play.
Yeah, that's
I almost
that.
tried to get an internship there after I graduated.
Yep. Okay. So that the reason why I like it so much too is just how beautiful the surrounding is, and I found out that if you headline there, they give you a little trophy with a piece of the Red Rock from that rock you're playing up against, and like from being in Arizona, that environment you're playing in is very familiar to like Canyon Lake.
right.
So I think that would just be beautiful to play outside and nature and just with thousands of fans. That would be my dream.
Okay.
Before I die, I have to perform at the Royal Albert Hall. It is a goal of mine, like a genuine goal. Like I've wanted to perform at this venue since I saw Bring Me the Horizon play there.
Okay.
Had a full orchestral and choir element backing him and his band, and it was legitimately the most beautiful performance I have ever seen. It like woke something up in me. I was like, okay, that's now it has to happen. So I legitimately even sometimes try to write music that can incorporate that element into it, so that if we ever get the opportunity.
Not if we ever.
When we ever. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
There you go.
I would say mine's more just like sentimental, because my first concert was at the Arizona Financial Theater,
Okay.
and like just the sound system there is great. Like you can feel the bass in your chest and everything like that. I just think it would be cool to perform there. That, or I mean, this is like a lot more local, like the Marquee Theater, just because that was my first like metal show that I had went to. Was at the Marquee.
And after we hear with Joey, we have a story to
We
tell
can
about
talk
that
about
one.
that later.
And it's worth it, trust me.
Stories are good.
Yes.
I'm actually just with Kenny on this one. Red Rocks. That would be.
Bro, you and I are
awesome.
gonna have a great time if when we do that. We're just gonna be geeking out.
It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, no one wants to go to the Crystal Ballroom.
Yeah.
I thought there was a venue I hadn't heard of.
we have. I mean, if we take the second, we gotta tell. So
Absolutely.
some backstory is, buddy Dalton here. He plays in a metal band, so you would think he's been to a couple metal shows. Well, you'd be wrong, and he hasn't. So it has been Ty and I's job of introducing him to the scene. So we took him.
Raise the kids.
Yeah, so we took him to his first deathcore show, Brand of Sacrifice. And Dalton can tell you exactly how that went, along with Ty. Here's the mic.
What I do.
All right. I mean, you can open up with what you did.
That doesn't sound good.
All right, look. Marijuana is legal where we live, so we decided. Well, I partake quite a bit, and I had an extra half of a gummy that was given to me that I had on me, and I was like, "Hey, I know you hadn't been to a show like this. Do you want this? I don't know if you do this often. I don't know if you smoke or whatnot, but I offered it to him. He took it, and
I was like,
I
hell
did
yeah.
not know this boy's tolerance. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I hadn't done anything in like 4 years up to that point, basically. And we get to the show. things were normal. We were talking. We were having a blast. And I remember it started at the merch booth. I was in line at the merch booth, and this guy in front of me, he was talking to me. He was, just like, all these options, they look amazing. I want that one that like looks like Darth Vader right there. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool one too. And then I kind of just zoned out. And he's still talking, and I eventually zoned back in. I was like, oh, you're still talking. Oh my gosh. It's kicking. It is hitting right now. And anyway, so that show goes on, and I'm like just kind of out of it. Like I still remember it, but it was definitely an interesting night.
And real quickly too, we went out. We needed to take a break because we know kind of the routine of like watch the band go outside, get some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to go outside for a quick smoke break, and we left him inside. And we come back to find him, and he's just standing there still, just watching the stage, just this heavy metal band. He's just standing there, and I grab him, and he's like, "Oh, you guys left?" And we were gone for like 20 minutes. So yeah, he was very out of it. But that's not even the best part.
Yeah. So the next morning, I called out of work. The morning after that, I went into work, and I worked at an airport, and so I had to open one of the cabin doors for the aircraft, which is a normal thing that we have to do. And I open it, it gets caught on what's called a transition plate, and it like rubbed a little bit of paint off of the side, and that was enough aircraft damage to get me drug tested. And so I get the drug test. And I'm left hanging.
He doesn't work at the airport anymore.
Yeah, I'm left hanging for like 2 weeks. They had like known that I gotten drug tested, and then 2 weeks later, I was like, guys, I am no longer working at the airport. Funds are gonna be low for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. And Ty feels so bad about it, but I said yes.
It's such a joke in the
I
band
said
now.
yes. Yeah, I said yes.
Hey, Dalton.
Way to go, Ty.
Drugs are bad.
It was insane.
It was the timing was crazy because I hadn't done anything for like 4 years up to that point. 2 days afterwards, something happens and I need to get selected for a drug test. So that's a pretty funny
So
moment.
he's not allowed to be anywhere near weed when we go to shows, so that way he can enjoy himself. So I just love that story. Just seeing you just at a deathcore show is crazy. I think that's more insane.
Honestly, that made the show pretty fun though, looking back.
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were vibing.
Yeah, you were having a great time.
There were vibes.
I'm sure there were.
There were vibes.
So if you could collaborate with anybody,
Oh man.
past, present,
You just want to go down the line again?
Honestly, man, I would love to collaborate with Zara. You know what I mean?
Okay.
With Henry and his
Yeah.
band. Dude, they're good playing. Man. Great band, dude. Great freaking band.
right?
Love those guys.
And fun fact about that band is Henry, their lead vocalist, was actually the one that recommended us to TJ from the 44
Uh-huh.
to get us going to playing.
Okay.
So we have a lot to thank Zara for getting us started, to getting our butt in the industry. So big shout out to them. I would say my dream collaboration would it would be tough, but like I really like I Prevail. I think it would be awesome to do some work with them in the later future. They've got their Trauma album is exactly it gets you through trauma, and that hit really hard for me at a certain point. So I would love to be with those guys that wrote that. So
Awesome.
For me, it's a toss-up because there's two reasons. One is genuinely because he is my favorite vocalist. Two is because it would break the internet.
do it.
So,
Do it.
so vocally, it would be Sam Carter of Architects. His voice is everything that I love, and I just think that it would be so sick to work with him. He always captures just the perfect emotion in what he does, and it's insanity. If you haven't heard him, they're huge though. So, but then the other one would be Chris Motionless from Motionless in White.
Some of these people are just now realizing you
Yeah.
are not Chris Motionless.
It has been a running thing in my life for the last however many years. Wherever I go, it does not matter. I could be wearing a costume, not even kidding, going to Comic-Con, wherever I go, no matter what I look like. Hey, man, you know who you really look like? You ever heard of Motionless in White? Yeah, you look like their singer, bro. It is non-stop. I even got a minor TikTok following off of one video I made talking about it. Like
He responded to you.
Yeah, even Chris agrees. He commented on one of the videos where I was like, please stop comparing me to Chris. And he was like, just saying, I haven't seen us in the same room together before, which we have been, but but yeah. I know, I do have a picture of that. Yeah,
Photo evidence.
We had a conversation outside or at Warped Tour 2017.
Nah, it was you standing next to a mirror.
You're right. Yeah, and we both had black hair at the time too, so it doesn't help.
People were like, "Wait, which one do I ask for the autograph?"
Yeah. But that one would break the internet. That would be sick. So
Absolutely.
I agree. Motionless in White would be a really funny collaboration, specifically for you, Ty. As a drummer, this is a really hard question to ask because, like, there's only one drummer per band, you know. So I would either be replacing them or I'm just out. You know what I mean? But I would say along the lines with Kenny, like I Prevail. Like a lot of their songs are just like so heavy hitting and whatnot. Like if I could just like fill in for one of those songs or something like that, like, or you know, help write another song or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
sit down and play and
sit down
write
and
with their
play.
drummer.
Right? Yeah, it'd be amazing, honestly. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, for me, this goes back to like my introduction to like heavier music being A Day to Remember. I would love to do something with them, either that or someone like Kellen Quinn. I know he's been making rounds a lot lately.
Oh, yeah.
Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens. I would love to hear his vocals alongside Ty's here. That would be
when I can't. So
Oh, let's see. What's the one thing you want everybody to know about your band? And what makes you unique?
yeah. So we're working on getting it out. But for all of you story nerds, just like me, and everybody who likes, a little bit of lore, I'll put it that way, a little bit more immersion, or a way to get involved in the music you listen to. Soul Theorem has a world. It's a world that I've built and written, and it's what we're going to use to basically display our imagery and our music videos. Some of our photos already incorporate the story and lore and some of the aspects of it. And I'm not going to give too many details on it because, part of it's for future fans and even current fans who realize it.
You
can
need to come see it.
Right, you come see it, you watch the videos, you piece the story apart, and then you'll be able to tell. But that's going to be a consistent, and it's something that I'm incredibly passionate in working on. So for all of you who like that extra world you can escape into, feel like you're around people who are similar to you, then you're going to definitely get that with us.
Awesome.
And even also too, like, our music's not one style. Like, the songs we all have, like, just even off of a non-personal, like the Lord, just like the music alone there's a song for each person. I mean, we even went through, each song has a specific, like, touch for somebody, and that, I feel like that we can reach a lot more people with, even if they just like one song, that's enough to even come over to our show and witness everything we can do. And I feel like that's one of the coolest things about our band is, since we're all different, we all can write a song and multiple songs in so many different styles, and that's really cool.
Awesome. So when you're jamming and trying to put something together, has anybody offered suggestions to other instruments to like, hey, you're doing this, and that's great, but add this on the end of it or in the beginning of it, stuff like that. Just helping each other out.
Noodling.
It
and
flies
improvising.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
There's a lot of that actually, especially between the guitarists, like because he's very good at finding unique sounds, and I know like they'll talk like when they're writing, like they just have this like language, like I want a little bit more, and they just kind of talk. It's really cool to watch, especially from a new guy.
I'm pretty sure it annoys everyone too, because everyone else is like,
No,
can we just?
it's needed.
No, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
It shows that you're open-minded and there's a possibility that you might be together for a while and not have the perpetual revolving door, because you work well together. And I think for me that's one of my biggest things as a fan is everybody always changing. I don't know. Is there any band that's still all original that's been signed by a major label? And I don't think that there is. And it's
really hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens because something happens and somebody's no longer with us. That's understandable. But when people have differences and they just split and, all right, I'm done with your ass. I'm out. When you have a good thing, when I lived in Vegas, the concerts that I got to work, people hated each other, but still got on stage with each other. And I'm just like, that's amazing. But, the guys from Tears for Fears and opposite ends of the hotel, different limos, different planes.
Wow.
That was the big thing with Slipknot too, right?
Yeah.
During
those
their,
guys don't like
yeah.
each other, getting fights and shit.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like even, and I can speak on a personal level, like even with me in this band too, like there's been problems with certain different things, but personally, like I feel like how we come out of them just makes the relationship stronger, musically and just friend wise, and I feel like that's kind of what keeps us going. Of like, there's a problem, you're not replaceable. Let's find the root of it. And that's what I appreciate about all these guys. These guys are my brothers, and we treat each other as brothers, and we have our ups and we have our downs, but we find our way through it, so.
That's awesome. Well, we already played How We Feed. Let's talk that up. How'd that come about?
Well, so before the project, this was months before the project was even considered, I played drums at his house, and we were just kind of noodling, and we kind of just wrote this riff and this idea, and we took it to your family friend to record it, and it was just like our little demo, and it was just kind of fun to have from us. And when the project became official, when we got past, like, what's your style, how do you play, you have no idea what you're doing, Kenny, on bass, so we're going to just pass over you. We're going to figure this all out. I remember him and I were like, well, we already have a song that we have an idea of. Let's try that. So we we played our demo to them, and hearing it back was really rough.
Awful.
Hey, my drums were okay, bud. Okay. We played it back,
awful, but it was
and
rough.
it like sparked all of our like, let's get into it. And
Just kidding.
I wrote
It
lyrics
wasn't
for
that
it, and he just like completely just made him so much better. Like completely made him, and I really like that he kept like the chorus, some things that I did right. Like he kept some of that, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't, just change everything.
I did make a huge alteration though. It was was it the day we went? No, it wasn't the day we went into the studio, but it was the 2 days before we went to record it, or something. Or no, it was very short before we went in to record it because I was screaming the entire way through, and then we were in a practice studio, and I was like, "Wait, just minimize this section, do it," and then I did the singing that's over it now, and then it kind of just stuck immediately.
That's right. I remember we just kind of cut the instrumentals. Oh. Yeah, I remember we just kind of cut the instrumentals out of the verse.
Mhm.
It was really, we had kept the bass line and just kept the simple beat on that drum.
Yeah, the simple.
And that, because that part used to be just like that constant upbeat, and then dropped it to just my bass, and then you were just kicking to keep tempo, and we're like, oh, that's kind of groovy, because that song is like it has that hard hitting beginning, so to say, and then it just drops down to that with a very unique lyric style, and I feel like that's why How We Feed is just like very personal almost, if I can say so.
Yeah, it gives it a like poppy feel, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Awesome. And then let's see, Listen's coming up at the end. Where was the inspiration behind that, and walk us through that one?
I can't remember that one. There was a riff for that one first.
Yeah,
that was
I
from
remember.
Yeah.
We made I remember I was listening a lot to, of course, Sevenfold, because obsessed. The song called MIA. Those beginning arpeggios, and I just not to say I ripped that off, but I definitely was heavily inspired by it. Heavily inspired, and no, they kind of just played around the I think it was the D minor arpeggio on there, and that riff was born, and the lyrics and all. Here you go, Ty.
Those lyrics, that song came out relatively quickly, I feel, lyrically. It went through a couple changes, but a lot of the inspiration for the song is just about feeling unheard. A lot of the lyrics tie into difficulties in communication, or things that people can feel while having tough or having a struggle through communication, which I feel is incredibly important. So I wrote a song about it. But yeah, it's just about the difficulties of that context and whatnot.
Okay.
Builds into it, starts off slow, and by the end it gets a little heavier.
A little
heavier.
A lot heavier.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And then there was,
but that's okay.
And can we talk about the recording process
Oh,
of
right.
that song?
Absolutely.
Took months. And
The recording was not.
no. The from start to finish of getting that song out was definitely a very bumpy road, and thankfully
So the story for that one is I am recently graduated from the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. It's an audio school, and the first true recording session I ever did was Listen. So what you hear in the song was all recorded as my first ever recording session at that school where I was the one in charge. So the reason that it took months, which, fair, roast me later.
no, it wasn't even you. It was the just figuring out what to do, honestly.
Yeah, but so as I was going through that program, I kept learning new things and adding it to the song and making sure that everything sounded good as I went. And eventually we came to the point in the project where it is now, and we released it. And that is my first big recording and mixing project, and I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that I look back and I'm like, ooh, I would change that a little bit, but overall I'm pretty satisfied with it.
and might I just say, this man evolves like a Pokemon. It is rapid, and it's just insane. I want to give him props.
He's definitely a great addition to this project. Absolutely.
And I totally understand. Just doing graphic work, I never get it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The first rendition, it's never the end. I don't know about you doing graphics as well, but it's...
I feel you.
I've got some that I've done that it was like, oh. Then I learned a little bit more. I'm like, ooh. And then you look at the final product and you're like, they're not even related.
That's it right there.
I mean, even the Damaged Ink, our first show, TJ asked me to design our poster. So I went through multiples of like different designs because I got excited that I got to design it. So yeah, the first one never stays for sure.
Yeah. So I heard, I was a fly on the wall a few nights ago, and I hear there might possibly be a movement for future musicians to remove themselves from the digital world, going back analog, due to the dilemmas of streaming platforms and the lack of, I believe everybody refers to it as proper funding. What do you consider, being a young new band, as a successful music career?
That, I feel like no matter who you ask that question to, it's gonna be a completely different answer, for very obvious reasons. But that's a tough one, man. I think, me personally, what I want to get out of this is realistically just to change some aspect of the world for the better. I know that sounds corny, and that a lot of people say that, but legitimately, I do, and I want to help as many people as I can. So, as long as I'm continuing to help people, as long as people are connecting with my lyrics and the message of our music, and if it makes people feel better, it doesn't matter how many. It sounds stupid, but I mean, I genuinely feel like we're already successful in that endeavor. But there are various terms and definitions for success. But yeah.
And I mean, for me personally, like, it's just keep getting better, or just keep doing the next right. Like, personally for me, like, I love playing on the stage, but my reasons of like doing this is I want to shout out one of our fans. It was our second show, and that was the OTEP show, and we played and we had a great time, and then I walked down to my family, and there was this little kid behind the table, and I turned around and he just looked up at me like he was shocked, like, to see me, and he like was asking me for a pic, my guitar pick, and he got all excited when he got it, and then he was like, "Can I take a photo?" And that was like a really weird moment for me, especially from the guy being behind the camera, now being in front, and just those moments like that just give like pure happiness, and I just want to experience more of that. Not for like, reasons like I just love that moment. So that's my personal.
All right. Well, me personally, truly as a musician, I just want to find improvement in myself and improve all my skills and create stuff that I never thought or dreamt of ever being able to play before. It's a big passion of mine. I just another part of it too is like the influence and making an impact on other people. I mean, you see it on stage, right? It's a
different feeling.
It really is. If you literally see it, like, you can imagine it all you want until you see it live, and people come up to you. It's like, it's another world. It's a completely different feeling.
Absolutely.
I think, like, always having music as a part of your life, even if you're not like playing shows and like out there and well known, like, I could have my drum set in my garage all my life and never show anybody, or not really do much of anything. But as long as I myself and am playing and am like motivated to keep learning and just keep myself in that world, I view that as successfully keeping music within my life and within my passion. I could bring it nowhere else, but that's how I view it anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah, I kind of share the same sentiment, where it's like the music is definitely paramount in my head, and being able to share a message, like a fully backed Ty's message from what I've learned so far, everything just kind of falls in line. And I mean, to say something the others haven't, being able to pay our bills would be the dream.
Making this her job would be very nice.
Yeah, making
even
it the
if
career
we never
whether-
actually make anything monetarily, I already feel like we're successful in the original goals. And
No, but
I'd
you're
love to
right. It
see
would be a
more.
lot easier to spread a message if you didn't have to worry about a 9 to 5.
Seriously.
Oh, absolutely. That's and that's one of my things is how we keep going the way we do, because I guess lyrically, I think there's for me there's a whole lot more parameters when it comes to doing music.
We talk about anything.
But there's only 12 notes. You know, and supposedly there's a song that was written by 2 different people, and it's almost as spot on as, and I don't know how it could be so spot on, and neither one had heard the other one before. But supposedly there's one song that has happened, but I'm surprised that that's not happened more, if that is the true case. You know, I could be wrong, but that's what somebody told me. And it's just, you know, again, there's only 12 notes and so many octaves, and you can only do so much. And
See, but that's
the arrangement.
The best part about music and playing is like every band, genre to genre, we all sound different, and that's why fans love certain bands, and those are the fans that like they're awesome. Like just I totally agree, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely on the hooks. You get them with a hook, and you probably got them for life.
I know that little girl who let us sign her guitar.
Yeah.
She is a little mega fan for sure.
legend.
She is, dude. She's awesome.
They're at literally every show,
Yeah.
waiting, like ready to go. Like it's a family with this. It's like what I think it's like 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah, 3 kids.
Three
I
kids, and every time it's like lit up faces, and I'm just like this is why right here.
And the little girl has like a large shirt on, so it's like she's like tripping on it. It's so funny. I love it.
It's more of a dress on her.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
Seriously.
More of a sleep shirt.
Yeah.
So what do we have coming up in the future? When's your next release? Next show?
Next release, I would like to say I'm working on it right now. It's in the oven. It's being cooked. We'll get it out fairly soon. I don't want to put a release date on it yet because I don't think it's quite in that stage.
Okay.
But we have gotten it recorded. We're getting that mixed together, and we're going to see what we can do with that. As far as live shows, we have taken a bit of a backseat in that regard to try to focus on writing and getting more of
songs
our
out.
music recorded, mixed, and released, so that there's more of a base to listen to after you leave a show. And if you
Okay.
wanted to listen to more, then it'll be available rather than just the 2 songs we have right now.
Right.
And the next song that's in the oven will house our first music video that
Okay.
we've done in-house.
Okay.
That we've done, so I've been able to use our production equipment, save money, and
Right.
I will tell you that this is not going to be like a DIY. Like it's awesome, and we've teased it on our Instagram. It's going to be a really cool music video, especially from a band that is like again so new. So I'm really excited. I love working on music videos. To do this one, it's got some personal heart into it, so it'll show.
And I had talked a little bit about how we've teased some of the lore I'd mentioned in story through the imagery and whatnot. This video is also this song and release as a whole is almost like a jump start. It's going to launch us into doing a lot more than we normally did, being music videos, getting our first one out, incorporating the story that we're also pushing for the first time publicly, clear as day. So people are going to finally get to see what's going on that end too, and start paying attention to that.
Okay. Are you guys solely working on just doing and releasing singles, or
Another conversation we've had, like we've spent like half a band practice talking about.
we've got a couple singles that we think we're planning to release, but the goal is a pretty filled out album sometime in the near future.
Okay.
So
filled out as in about how many songs?
Quite a bit of music.
Okay.
Double digits, for sure.
Okay.
And it'll definitely be worth the wait, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I can't. That's. I do use. Everybody hates Spotify, but for me, Spotify works because when I follow you and you put a new song up,
it's convenient.
Spotify goes, "Hey Yeti, Soul Theorem just put a new song up," and
that will be hopefully happening further.
unfortunately, I'm about 3 weeks behind, and that list is getting long. I might have to break it up a little bit so I don't have another 4-hour show.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is Soul Theorem right here on the Backstage Lounge in YetiRadio.com, and closing out tonight with their single "Listen."
Time, it stays
Back in the Yeti Radio, live on Twitch, YouTube, iVlog.tv, Kick.com, and Facebook Live. I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. We had Soul Theorem live right here in the Backstage Lounge. And I want to thank these guys again for coming and hanging out. It was a blast. And,
Thank you.
Thank you,
fun.
seriously.
Again, hit me up anytime. You're welcome to come back anytime you want. And
appreciate it, man.
Congratulations on being number 64. So.
64, baby. Yeah.
That number is going to mean something.
And we are going to make it.
Absolutely.
64, baby.
Let's see Yeti Radio and the Backstage Lounge. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
Don't fuck it up.
The Yeti Radio, powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. David Lee Imaging in the Titletown Music Archive and the Live 365 app.
We can all be quiet and peaceable and have a few beers together and listen to the music.
The Yeti.